Tesla is a stock that is sinking today following a bearish note from Cowen. Now the research firm warning that Tesla deliveries could be hurt due to demand saturation. You can see the stock off just over 3%. Joining us now is Karl Brauer. He's executive publisher for Autotrader and Kelley Blue Book. And Karl, when you take a look at that note from Cowen, relatively bearish when they're trying to tamper back some of the expectations. What did you make of that argument?
I think they took a very, grounded and realistic view of all the factors that are playing a role here. We've seen the stock really go up, and there's a lot of excitement around their domestic plant now being available in China, and it's the world's biggest EV market. So plenty of reason to be bullish, but then you've got a lot of things that Cowen did a great job at analyzing, whether it's the market in China kind of cycling down right now on new cars. There's a growing desire to not subsidize these vehicles as much, really globally, but China as well. And also the price of the new Tesla, the Model 3, it's really relatively high in that Chinese market. And there's a lot of other choices there that can sell for about half of what the Model 3 is going to sell at. So there are plenty of factors to suggest it won't be this boon to Tesla sales, even with a new plant available in China to produce these vehicles.
Karl, you mentioned price, just the fact that there's some competitors out there that have cars on the market at about half the cost of what it costs for a Tesla. Do you think Tesla will be forced to lower its price tag over in China in order to gain some more traction?
I think that's a possibility. And I know that that's not going to be good because, again, they're already struggling for profitability at the current pricing. And they won't have the duty tax on the vehicles because they'll be domestically produced. That's upside, but they're still well above the price of the average vehicle there. And now there's not going to be as much government subsidy, it looks like, as well. So there's a lot of factors to suggest that that price could be tough to hold.
Karl, China's contracting vehicle sales, you briefly mentioned that. How big of a headwind do you think that is for Tesla going forward in the region?
I think that's more near term, actually. I think they're going to drop a little bit in 2020, but not by a huge amount. And then all indications are that they'll start growing again by 2021. So again, there won't be this boon of new vehicle demand in China next year, excuse me, even for something like the Tesla. But if they can get through this next year with all the other challenges that they've got, there should be growing EV demand and car demand in general in 2021 and beyond.
Karl, a Tesla rival NIO today is skyrocketing. Now the stock taking off after beating revenue estimates and posting a quarterly loss that was narrower than what the street was expecting. When you take a look at NIO, how they stack up against Tesla, that's been something that a lot of investors have been eyeing. How big of a threat do you think NIO is to Tesla going forward?
Well, I think they're just one example of many, domestic Chinese car companies that are getting better and better at producing electric vehicles in a way that is appealing to consumers and is hopefully profitable to them. And NIO is a very good example of a relatively smaller, nimble company. It's focused on this market, and now it's producing cars that are apparently resonating with consumers, fighting the trend that we're seeing with other vehicle sales and the general market dropping. Yet NIO's EV sales are going up. But again, they're priced aggressively. They're much less expensive than the Model 3. So it's an example of the kind of threat Tesla's going to face. And don't forget, competition just globally and as well as in China is just going to keep going up. The EV market will continue to expand in terms of automakers that are producing these vehicles, which is only more competition for Tesla.
Yeah, a lot more of these traditional automakers are entering the space, that is for sure. Karl Brauer, thanks for joining me.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.